Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where tonight I'm going to be reading you over 1400 completely useless Lego facts that you absolutely don't need to know, but will probably find strangely fascinating anyway as you drift off to sleep. Before I move forward, I'm counting on you to support my channel by clicking that tiny subscribe button so that we can spread these amazing videos to folks like you around the world. Thank you. Alright, let's get into it. The Lego group name origin. The Lego name actually comes from the Danish phrase "leg godt," which translates to play well in English. And founder Ole Kirk Christiansen came up with this name back in 1932 when he was still making wooden toys in his carpentry workshop. What makes this even more interesting is that in Latin, the word Lego coincidentally means I put together or I assemble, which perfectly describes what you do with the bricks, even though Christiansen had no idea about this Latin connection when he chose the name. The company didn't discover this happy linguistic accident until years after they'd already established the brand internationally. The original wooden duck toy. Before Lego ever made a single plastic brick, one of their most popular products was a wooden pull-along duck toy that had a beak which opened and closed as you pulled it across the floor. Ole Kirk Christiansen was so proud of this duck design that he kept one on his desk for the rest of his life, as a reminder of the company's humble beginnings in wooden toy manufacturing. This particular duck toy has become so iconic in Lego's history that the company still produces replica versions of it today for collectors and as a symbolic representation of where they came from. The transition to plastic bricks. Lego didn't start making plastic bricks until 1947 when they purchased their first plastic injection molding machine, which was a huge financial risk for the small Danish company at the time. The early plastic bricks were called automatic binding bricks, and they were quite different from modern Lego bricks because they didn't have the hollow tubes underneath that make modern bricks lock together so securely. Many toy retailers and customers were actually skeptical about plastic toys in the late 1940s because plastic was seen as a cheap and inferior material compared to traditional materials like wood and metal. The stud and tube coupling system patent, the modern Lego brick design with the studs on top and the tubes underneath, was patented on January 28, 1958, and this is considered the birthday of the Lego brick as we know it today. The inventor listed on the patent was Gottfried Kirk Christiansen, Ole Kirk's son, who realized that the key to making the bricks better was adding the tubes inside the bricks to grip the studs of other bricks more firmly. This coupling system is so effective that it takes quite a bit of force to pull two bricks apart, yet they still come apart without breaking, which is an incredibly difficult balance to achieve in manufacturing. The color palette evolution. Lego originally only produced bricks in 5 colors when they first launched the plastic brick line, which were red, white, blue, yellow, and green. And these were chosen specifically because they were primary colors that appealed to children. The company was very conservative about adding new colors for decades because they wanted to maintain a consistent look across all their sets, and they worried that too many colors would be overwhelming. It wasn't until the 1990s that Lego significantly expanded their color palette, and now they produce bricks in over 60 different colors, including transparent, metallic, and glow-in-the-dark varieties. The clutch power specification. Lego bricks are manufactured to a tolerance of just 2 micrometers, which is 0.002 of a millimeter, making them some of the most precisely manufactured toys in the world. This extreme precision is necessary because even a tiny variation in the size of a brick can affect what Lego calls clutch power, which is the perfect amount of grip between bricks that makes them stay together but still come apart. The company tests clutch power by measuring exactly how much force in newtons is required to separate 2 bricks, and they adjust their manufacturing process constantly to maintain this perfect balance. The brick-to-brick compatibility promise. Every Lego brick made since 1958 is compatible with every other Lego brick made before or since, which means a brick from the late 50s will connect perfectly with a brick manufactured this year. This backward and forward compatibility is something Lego considers sacred, and they've turned down numerous opportunities to make technical improvements to the brick design because it would break this compatibility. The company has actually archived samples of bricks from every production run they've ever done, so that they can test new bricks against old ones to ensure perfect compatibility continues. The ABS plastic composition. Lego bricks are made from a plastic called ABS, which stands for acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, and this particular plastic was chosen because it's extremely durable, has a slight flexibility that prevents brittleness, and can be molded with incredible precision. ABS plastic can withstand a huge range of temperatures without warping or degrading, which is why Lego bricks from the 1960s are still in perfect working condition today. The plastic is also non-toxic and meets all international safety standards for children's toys, though Lego has spent millions of dollars researching alternative sustainable materials to replace ABS in the future. The injection molding pressure. When Lego manufactures bricks, the molten ABS plastic is injected into the brick molds at pressures between 25 and 150 tons, which is roughly equivalent to the weight of several elephants, pressing down on an area the size of a brick. This extreme pressure is necessary to force the plastic into every tiny detail of the mold, including the microscopic text that appears on the studs of bricks. The entire injection molding process takes only about 7 to 10 seconds per brick, which allows Lego to produce approximately 100 million bricks per day across all their factories. The cooling time precision. After the hot plastic is injected into the mold, the brick must cool for exactly the right amount of time, or it will either be too soft and deform when ejected from the mold, or it will be too brittle and crack. The cooling time varies depending on the size and complexity of the piece being made, but it's typically between 5 and 7 seconds for a standard brick. Lego has spent decades perfecting the cooling curves for different pieces, and the temperature of the molds themselves is controlled to within a fraction of a degree to ensure consistent cooling across millions of bricks. The reject rate statistics. Despite the incredible precision of Lego manufacturing, the company still rejects about 18 out of every 1 million bricks produced because they don't meet the strict quality standards. These rejected bricks are ground up and recycled back into the manufacturing process rather than being thrown away, which helps reduce waste. Every single brick is automatically inspected by cameras and sensors as it comes out of the mold, checking for defects in color, shape, clutch power, and any imperfections in the plastic. The Billund factory location. Lego's main manufacturing facility is still located in Billund, Denmark, which is the same small town where Ole Kirk Christiansen founded the company. And Billund only has a population of about 6,000 people. The factory complex in Billund is absolutely massive, covering several city blocks, and it's the largest employer in the town by far. Interestingly, Lego has also built a small airport in Billund primarily to transport company executives and important visitors, and this tiny airport in the middle of rural Denmark has grown into a significant regional hub because of Lego's presence. The global factory network. While the main factory is in Denmark, Lego also operates large manufacturing plants in the Czech Republic, Hungary, Mexico, and China to serve different global markets and reduce shipping costs. Each factory produces the exact same bricks to the exact same specifications, and Lego regularly ships bricks between factories to verify that quality is consistent across all locations. The company chose these particular locations based on a combination of factors, including labor costs, proximity to major markets, political stability, and the availability of skilled workers who could maintain the high precision standards. The mold manufacturing process. The metal molds used to make Lego bricks are themselves works of art, taking up to 12 weeks to manufacture for complex pieces, and they're made from extremely hard steel that can withstand millions of molding cycles. Each mold costs anywhere from $20,000 to over $300,000, depending on the complexity of the piece, which is why Lego is very careful about designing new pieces and tries to reuse existing pieces in new colours whenever possible. The molds are so precisely made that they can create details as small as the tiny Lego logo that appears on each stud, which is only a few millimeters across. The piece lifespan in production. A single Lego mold can produce millions of bricks before it wears out and needs to be replaced, but Lego monitors each mold carefully and retires them before they start producing substandard bricks. When a mold is retired, it's not thrown away, but is instead archived in a massive warehouse where Lego stores every mold they've ever made, just in case they need to reproduce a discontinued piece. This warehouse contains tens of thousands of molds dating back decades, and it's climate controlled to prevent rust and degradation of the precision steel. The basic brick varieties. What most people call a Lego brick actually comes in hundreds of different configurations, and the most common brick sizes are the 2x4 brick, the 2x2 brick, and the 1x2 brick. The 2x4 brick is considered the iconic Lego brick and is the one most commonly featured in Lego's marketing materials and logo designs. Despite all the specialized pieces Lego makes now, these basic bricks still make up the majority of pieces in most Lego sets because they're the fundamental building blocks that everything else connects to, the mathematical combinations possible. Lego once calculated that there are over 915 million ways to combine just 6 standard 2x4 Lego bricks of the same color. If you increase that to 8 bricks, the number of possible combinations exceeds the number of stars in our galaxy. These astronomical numbers demonstrate why Lego has remained popular for so long, because the creative possibilities are essentially infinite, even with a relatively small number of pieces. The world's tallest Lego tower. The tallest Lego tower ever built was constructed in Milan, Italy, in June 2015, and it reached a height of 35.05 meters, which is about 115 feet tall. This tower required over 550,000 Lego bricks to construct and took several days to build with the help of thousands of children who each contributed bricks to the project. The tower had to be carefully engineered to support its own weight, with a strong core structure and increasingly lighter construction toward the top to prevent collapse. The brick weight specification. A single standard 2x4 Lego brick weighs exactly 2.5 grams, and this weight has remained constant for decades as part of Lego's commitment to consistency. The weight is carefully controlled because it affects how bricks balance and stack together, and even a slight variation could cause problems in large constructions. Lego's quality control systems can detect if a brick weighs even a fraction of a gram more or less than it should, which would indicate a problem in the molding process. The environmental testing standards. Every new Lego element has to pass through rigorous environmental testing, including being frozen, heated, exposed to UV light, submerged in water, and subjected to various chemicals to make sure it remains safe and functional. Lego bricks need to withstand temperatures from -40 to +70 degrees Celsius without warping or degrading. The company also tests how bricks react to saliva because young children often put toys in their mouths, and they test for any chemicals that might leach out of the plastic under various conditions. The sound of Lego. Lego has actually trademarked the distinctive clicking sound that bricks make when they connect together, because this sound has become so associated with the brand that it's considered part of their intellectual property. Audio engineers at Lego have analysed this sound extensively and found that it hits a specific frequency range that humans find satisfying, which is part of why building with Lego is so enjoyable. The sound is actually created by the plastic briefly deforming as the studs push past the tubes inside the brick, then snapping back into shape once the connection is made. The minifigure introduction year. Lego minifigures, as we know them today, were first introduced in 1978, and before that, Lego sets either had no people figures at all or had much simpler figures without movable limbs. The minifigure was designed by Jens Nygaard Knudsen, who spent years developing the proportions and features to make them compatible with existing Lego bricks, while still being recognizable as human figures. The original minifigures came in just 3 varieties, which were a police officer, a knight, and a spaceman, and they all had the same basic body design with different decorations. The minifigure population statistics. Lego has produced over 4 billion minifigures since 1978, which means there are more Lego minifigures on Earth than there are citizens of China, India, or any other country. If all the minifigures ever made stood on each other's heads, the tower would stretch from Earth to the moon and back again several times over. The company produces approximately 300 million new minifigures every year, which works out to about 10 minifigures being manufactured every single second of every day. The minifigure height and proportions. A standard Lego minifigure stands exactly 4 centimeters tall, including the head, and the designers deliberately made them slightly less than human proportions, so they would look good next to Lego vehicles and buildings. The minifigure is designed with a height-to-width ratio that makes it stable when standing, but still able to sit in vehicles and hold accessories. The hands of a minifigure are designed as a C shape, so they can grip cylindrical objects like lightsabers, tools, and steering wheels, and the diameter of this C shape is standardized across all minifigures. The facial expression evolution. Early Lego minifigures all had the exact same smiling face, and this remained true for over a decade after they were introduced, because Lego believed that a neutral, happy expression allowed children to project any emotion onto the character. It wasn't until 1989 that Lego introduced minifigures with different facial expressions, starting with a pirate who had a different expression printed on his face. Now there are hundreds of different faces available on minifigures, ranging from happy to angry to scared to confused, and some minifigures even have double-sided heads with different expressions on the front and back. The yellow skin tone choice. Lego deliberately chose yellow as the skin color for minifigures because they wanted the figures to be racially ambiguous and universal, not representing any particular ethnicity or race. This yellow color has become so iconic that Lego was hesitant to change it, even when they started making licensed sets based on real people and movie characters. Eventually, Lego did introduce different skin tones for licensed products, like Star Wars and Harry Potter, where characters needed to match their movie appearances. But generic Lego minifigures remain yellow to this day. The minifigure hand design limitation. The C-shaped hands of minifigures can only grip objects that fit within their grasp, which means Lego has to design accessories specifically to be the right diameter for minifigure hands to hold. This limitation has actually shaped the design of thousands of Lego pieces over the years, from swords to ice cream cones to steering wheels. Some fans criticize this limitation because it means minifigures can't naturally hold many objects, but Lego has maintained this design because changing it would make millions of existing accessories incompatible. The rarest minifigure ever produced. The rarest Lego minifigure ever produced is arguably the 14-karat gold C-3PO that was randomly inserted into just 2 Star Wars sets in 2007, with only 5 of them made. Each of these gold minifigures is worth tens of thousands of dollars now, and their location is tracked by Lego collectors like precious artifacts. Lego has occasionally done similar promotions with chrome or specially coloured minifigures, but the gold C-3PO remains the most valuable because of the actual gold content and the extreme rarity. The minifigure hairpiece variety. Lego has designed over 1,200 different hairpieces for minifigures, ranging from simple bowl cuts to elaborate hairstyles with braids, ponytails, and various historical period styles. The hair pieces are one of the most important ways that LEGO creates diversity and individuality among minifigures, since the basic body shape is always the same. Some hair pieces are so elaborate that they're actually built in multiple parts and assembled before being attached to the minifigure head, especially pieces with long flowing hair or complex headgear. The printing technology for minifigures. The designs on minifigure bodies and heads are applied using a pad printing process where ink is transferred from an engraved plate onto a silicone pad, which then stamps the design onto the curved surface of the minifigure. This process allows for incredibly detailed printing, including fine lines, small text, and complex patterns that would be impossible with other printing methods. Each colour in a design requires a separate printing pass, so a minifigure with a multicoloured design might go through the printing machine 4 or 5 times before it's complete. The leg movement limitation. LEGO minifigures can only move their legs together as a single unit, not independently, which is a limitation that has frustrated some fans but has never been changed by LEGO. This design choice was made because allowing independent leg movement would make the minifigures unstable and they would fall over constantly. Some special minifigure variants have been made with different leg designs, including short legs for child minifigures and sloped brick-built legs for sitting figures, but the standard minifigure design has remained consistent. The accessory ecosystem. LEGO has produced over 10,000 different accessories for minifigures to hold and wear, ranging from simple items like cups and food to complex weapons, tools, and specialized equipment. Each accessory is designed to be compatible with the minifigure hand design, and many accessories can also be connected to other LEGO bricks to create larger builds. The variety of accessories has expanded dramatically over the years as LEGO has created more specialized and licensed sets that require unique props and items. The Duplo brick scaling. LEGO Duplo bricks are exactly twice the size of regular LEGO bricks in all dimensions, which means 8 regular LEGO bricks fit in the same volume as one Duplo brick. Despite being larger, Duplo bricks use the same stud and tube connection system as regular LEGO bricks, just scaled up proportionally. Regular LEGO bricks can actually connect to Duplo bricks because the studs on Duplo bricks are the same spacing as regular LEGO bricks, though the reverse doesn't work as well because regular LEGO bricks are too small to grip Duplo tubes effectively. The Duplo safety considerations. Duplo bricks were introduced in 1969 specifically for younger children aged 18 months to 5 years, and they were made larger than regular LEGO bricks because they're impossible for young children to swallow. The size also makes them easier for small hands to grip and manipulate, and the pieces have smoother edges than regular LEGO bricks to prevent scratches or injuries. Every Duplo piece undergoes additional safety testing beyond what's required for regular LEGO because the target age group is more vulnerable. The Duplo name origin. The name Duplo comes from the Latin word duplus, meaning double, which directly references the fact that Duplo bricks are twice the size of regular LEGO bricks. The naming was very straightforward and intentional, unlike the LEGO name itself, which was more of a happy coincidence. Duplo sets often feature simpler builds and more thematic play scenarios designed for toddler interests like farms, zoos, and simple vehicles rather than the complex building projects that regular LEGO focuses on. The Duplo to LEGO transition. LEGO designed Duplo specifically to be a stepping stone product that would lead children to regular LEGO bricks as they got older, creating a complete ecosystem of building toys from toddlerhood through adulthood. The compatibility between Duplo and regular LEGO bricks means that children can start incorporating their Duplo pieces into LEGO builds during the transition period rather than having to completely abandon one system for the other. Many LEGO fans who started with Duplo as young children maintain that the early building experiences with the larger bricks helped develop their spatial reasoning and creativity skills. The Technic system introduction. Lego Technic was introduced in 1977 under the name Expert Builder before being rebranded as Technic in 1982, and it represented a major departure from regular Lego bricks. Technic pieces include beams with holes rather than studs, allowing pieces to be connected with pins and axles to create mechanical functions like gears, pulleys, and pistons. The Technic system was designed for older builders who wanted to create functional models with moving parts rather than just static constructions. The Technic beam evolution. Early Technic beams were called bricks with holes, and they looked very different from modern Technic beams, being basically regular Lego bricks with holes drilled through them. In 1986, Lego introduced the modern Technic beam design, which is a flat beam without traditional studs on top, relying entirely on the holes for connections. This change allowed for much more complex and stable mechanical builds because the beams could be connected at multiple angles and points, not just stacked vertically. The Technic pin varieties. Lego produces dozens of different types of Technic pins, each with specific friction properties ranging from smooth pins that allow free rotation to friction pins that grip tightly and prevent movement. The most common pin colours are black for high friction, grey for medium friction, and tan or blue for smooth rotation. Though this colour coding isn't completely consistent across all Technic pieces. The pins are manufactured to extremely tight tolerances, because even a slight variation in pin diameter can drastically change how well they work in Technic builds. The gear ratios in Technic. Lego Technic includes a wide variety of gears with different numbers of teeth, allowing builders to create complex gear trains with specific ratios to increase speed, increase torque, or change the direction of rotation. The most common Technic gears have 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and 40 teeth. And these specific numbers were chosen because they allow for many different useful gear ratios. Advanced Technic builders can create transmissions with multiple gear ratios, differentials that allow wheels to rotate at different speeds, and even continuously variable transmissions using special Lego pieces. The Technic motor evolution. The first Lego Technic motor was introduced in 1977 and ran on a 9-volt battery, making it quite large and heavy compared to modern Lego motors. Over the decades, Lego has developed numerous different motor types, including pneumatic motors, electric motors of various sizes and power levels, and more recently, the power functions and powered-up systems that use rechargeable batteries. Modern Lego motors are incredibly sophisticated, with some models including built-in rotation sensors and the ability to be controlled via Bluetooth from smartphones or tablets. The pneumatic system. Lego introduced a pneumatic system in the 1980s that uses actual air pressure to power pistons and cylinders, allowing builders to create realistic, hydraulic-style mechanisms. The pneumatic system includes pumps, tubes, cylinders, and switches, all made to the same precision standards as regular Lego bricks. The system works with real air pressure differences rather than being just a visual representation, which means builders need to understand basic principles of pneumatics and pressure to use it effectively. The Technic panel pieces. Technic sets include large panel and fairing pieces that can be used to create realistic-looking vehicle bodies and exteriors while hiding the mechanical skeleton underneath. These panel pieces are carefully designed to follow modern vehicle design trends and aesthetics, which is why Technic sets from different decades often look quite different in their styling. The panels attach to the Technic framework using special clips and connectors, allowing builders to remove them easily to access the mechanical components inside. The Technic set complexity. The most complex LEGO Technic sets can contain over 4,000 pieces and take experienced builders 20 to 30 hours to complete, with instruction manuals that are hundreds of pages long. These large Technic sets often replicate real vehicles with functioning steering, suspension, gearboxes, and engine components that move realistically. LEGO works with actual vehicle manufacturers to create officially licensed Technic models of real cars and machines, ensuring that the mechanical functions are as accurate as possible. The Mindstorms robotics system. LEGO Mindstorms was first introduced in 1998 as a partnership between LEGO and MIT, combining LEGO Technic building with programmable computers and sensors to create customizable robots. The system includes a programmable brick computer, motors, and various sensors, including touch, color, ultrasonic distance, and gyroscope sensors. Users can program their Mindstorms creations using either a visual block-based programming language or more advanced text-based languages like Python or Java. The Mindstorms evolution. LEGO has released several generations of Mindstorms over the years, with each new version featuring more powerful processors, more sophisticated sensors, and improved programming interfaces. The latest version, called Mindstorms Robot Inventor, includes a hub with 6 input-output ports, a rechargeable battery, Bluetooth connectivity, and a 6-axis gyroscope and accelerometer built into the main brick. The system is powerful enough that it's used in educational settings worldwide to teach programming, engineering, and robotics concepts to students from elementary school through university. The Mindstorms community creations. The Mindstorms community has created thousands of custom robots and machines far beyond anything LEGO officially suggests, including 3D printers, musical instruments, solving machines for Rubik's cubes, and even machines that can sort LEGO bricks by color and size. LEGO actively encourages this creativity and often features impressive community creations in their marketing and at LEGO events. Some community members have become famous in the LEGO world for their innovative Mindstorms creations, and LEGO has even hired some of these talented builders as consultants or employees. The Brick Separator Tool. LEGO introduced the official Brick Separator Tool in 1990, before which builders had to use their fingernails or teeth to separate tightly connected bricks, which often led to damaged nails or bricks. The Brick Separator is designed with a thin wedge on one end that can slide between bricks to pry them apart, and a stud puller on the other end for removing small pieces. The current design of the Brick Separator was updated in 2012 to be more effective and is now included in many LEGO sets, especially larger ones, where builders are likely to need help separating pieces. The color of brick separators. LEGO has produced brick separators in several different colors over the years, including grey, orange, teal, and lime green, though orange has become the most iconic and common color. The bright orange color was chosen specifically because it stands out against most LEGO brick colors, making the separator easy to find in a bin of bricks. Some rare or special edition sets have included brick separators in unique colors, and these have become collectible items among LEGO fans despite being simple tools. The effectiveness of separation. The brick separator is designed to apply leverage without damaging the bricks or causing them to crack under pressure, which is important because brute force can actually break LEGO bricks despite their durability. The wedge end is thin enough to fit between studs, but thick enough to be rigid and not bend during use. Advanced builders often use multiple brick separators simultaneously when dealing with very large models that have bricks connected in multiple directions. The storage and sorting challenge. One of the biggest challenges LEGO fans face is storing and sorting their collection, and LEGO has never officially produced a comprehensive storage solution, despite decades of requests from customers. Many adult fans of LEGO spend significant time and money creating custom storage systems using plastic bins, drawers, and organizers from hardware stores. The debate over whether to sort bricks by color by type, by size, or by set is ongoing in the LEGO community with passionate advocates for each method. The stepping on LEGO pain. The phenomenon of stepping on LEGO bricks being extremely painful has become a widespread cultural joke and complaint, referenced in countless memes and social media posts. The pain is caused by the hard plastic, sharp corners, and the fact that LEGO bricks don't compress or give way when stepped on, concentrating all the force on a small area of the foot. LEGO themselves has acknowledged this issue with humour in their marketing, even creating oversized soft slippers designed to protect feet from LEGO bricks. The biodegradability research. LEGO has been researching sustainable and biodegradable materials to replace ABS plastic for over a decade, investing over $150 million into this research so far. The challenge is finding a material that matches ABS in terms of durability, precision moldability, color consistency, and that crucial clutch power, while also being environmentally sustainable. In 2018, LEGO began producing some botanical elements, like leaves and trees from plant-based polyethylene sourced from sugarcane, though these pieces are still not biodegradable. The recycling program attempts. LEGO has attempted several brick recycling programs over the years, including the LEGO Replay program, where people can donate unwanted bricks to be cleaned and given to children's charities. The challenge with recycling LEGO bricks is that they're so durable, they don't really need to be recycled in the traditional sense of breaking them down and reforming them, so most recycling programs focus on redistribution rather than material recycling. LEGO has also experimented with accepting old bricks to be ground up and remolded into new bricks, though this has proven difficult to implement at scale. The packaging waste reduction. LEGO has been working to reduce packaging waste by eliminating plastic bags inside boxes and replacing them with paper bags, though this transition has been challenging because paper bags don't protect bricks as well during shipping. The company has also reduced the size of boxes by packing pieces more efficiently, which reduces the amount of cardboard needed and allows more sets to fit in shipping containers. LEGO's goal is to make all packaging sustainable by 2025, though this deadline has been pushed back several times as they work through technical challenges. The instruction manual evolution. Early LEGO sets came with very simple instruction manuals that often showed only the final model with minimal step-by-step guidance, expecting builders to figure out much of the construction themselves. Over time, instruction manuals have become increasingly detailed and sophisticated, now showing every single piece placement with multiple angles and zoom-ins for complex steps. Modern LEGO instructions are so clear that even young children can follow them independently, though some adult fans miss the challenge and creativity required by the older, less detailed instructions. The digital building instructions. LEGO began offering digital PDF instructions on their website in the early 2000s, allowing people who lost their paper instructions to rebuild sets. More recently, LEGO has developed the Builder app, which provides enhanced digital instructions with 3D models that can be rotated and zoomed, progress tracking, and the ability to search for specific sets or pieces. The app is particularly helpful for very complex builds because you can zoom into specific areas and rotate the model to see exactly where pieces go from any angle. The parts inventory tracking. LEGO maintains a comprehensive database of every single piece they've ever produced, including detailed 3D models, production dates, color variations, and which sets each piece appeared in. This database is used internally for designing new sets, but portions of it have been made available to the public through partnerships with fan sites like Bricklink and Rebrickable. The database includes over 50,000 different elements when you count all the color variations of each unique piece shape. The Bricklink acquisition. In 2019, LEGO acquired Bricklink, the largest online marketplace for buying and selling LEGO pieces and sets, which was a surprising move because Bricklink had operated independently for 20 years. The acquisition gave LEGO direct insight into the secondary market for their products and what pieces and sets were most in demand. LEGO has largely allowed Bricklink to continue operating independently while using the data to inform their business decisions about which retired sets to bring back and which pieces are most needed. The custom printing services. Third-party companies offer custom printing services where they can print any design onto LEGO bricks and minifigures using the same pad printing technology LEGO uses in their factories. These custom printed pieces are popular among fans who want to create unique minifigures of themselves, historical figures not covered by official LEGO sets, or characters from properties LEGO doesn't have licenses for. LEGO's position on custom printing is somewhat ambiguous, as they don't officially endorse it but also don't actively try to shut down companies providing this service. The clone brand controversy. Numerous companies around the world produce building bricks that are compatible with LEGO, often at much lower prices, which LEGO considers to be trademark infringement, even though the original patent on the brick design expired decades ago. Some of these clone brands like Megablocks, Kobe, and various Chinese manufacturers have achieved significant market success, particularly in regions where LEGO's premium pricing makes their products less accessible. LEGO has fought lengthy legal battles trying to prevent clone manufacturers from copying their products, with mixed success in different jurisdictions. The patent expiration implications. The core LEGO brick design patents expired in 1978, which legally allowed other companies to manufacture compatible bricks, though LEGO has used trademark law and design patents on specific pieces to maintain some protection. The expiration of the basic patents is one reason why the toy building brick market has become so competitive, forcing LEGO to compete on brand reputation, quality, and innovation rather than legal monopoly. LEGO's strategy has been to continually design new specialized pieces that are patented. So even though basic bricks can be copied, the interesting and useful pieces remain protected for years. The quality comparison debate. LEGO fans often debate whether clone brand bricks are actually lower quality or if they're essentially equivalent to LEGO bricks at a fraction of the price. Independent testing has shown that some clone brands produce bricks with clutch power and tolerances very close to LEGO standards, while others have noticeable quality issues like loose connections or color inconsistency. LEGO's main quality advantage is consistency across billions of bricks, ensuring that any two LEGO bricks will fit together perfectly, regardless of when or where they were made. The Architecture series. LEGO Architecture was launched in 2008 as a line of sets specifically designed for adult builders interested in architecture and design, featuring famous buildings and structures from around the world. The architecture sets use a more sophisticated colour palette with blacks, whites and greys predominating, and they come with informational booklets about the buildings and their architects. The series has been successful enough that it's become a permanent part of LEGO's product lineup rather than a limited special theme. The Skyline subsets. Within the architecture series, LEGO created Skyline sets that feature multiple iconic buildings from the same city combined into a single display model. These Skyline sets use clever building techniques to create simplified but recognizable versions of famous structures at a consistent small scale. The Skyline approach allows LEGO to represent many more cities than would be practical if each building required its own separate set, and they've become popular gifts for people who live in or have visited the featured cities. The Architecture Designer Collaboration. LEGO partnered with several famous architecture firms and individual architects to design architecture sets, ensuring that the models are architecturally accurate and use appropriate building techniques. The designers include people who actually work in architecture, and Continue 12 I2 bringing professional expertise to the representation of buildings. This collaboration has lent credibility to the architecture line among actual architects and architecture students, many of whom have Lego architecture models in their offices or studios. The Ideas platform. Lego Ideas, launched in 2008 as Lego Kusu, is a platform where fans can submit their own set designs, and if a design receives 10,000 supporter votes, Lego will review it for possible production as an official set. The platform has resulted in dozens of official Lego sets that would never have been created through Lego's internal design process, including the Research Institute with female scientist minifigures and the Old Fishing Store. The designer of an approved Ideas set receives 1% of the net sales as a royalty, and their name appears on the box as the creator. The Ideas review process. Even after reaching 10,000 supporters, fewer than 10% of Ideas projects actually become official sets because Lego reviews them for feasibility, licensing issues, brand fit, and market potential. Lego holds 3 review periods per year, where they evaluate all projects that reach 10,000 supporters, often choosing 2 to 4 projects to move forward with production. The time between a project being approved and the set actually being released can be a year or more, as Lego works with the designer to refine the design, ensure it meets safety standards, and develop packaging and marketing. The Ideas community engagement. The Lego Ideas platform has created an active community of builders who support each other's projects, provide feedback on designs, and create marketing materials to help projects reach the 10,000 supporter goal. Some designers have had multiple projects approved, becoming well-known figures in the Lego community. The platform has also sparked debates about whether fan designs should be modified by Lego before production, with some creators unhappy about changes made to their original vision. The licensing agreements. Lego has licensing agreements with dozens of entertainment properties, including Star Wars, Harry Potter, Marvel, DC Comics, Disney, and many others, paying royalties to use these characters and settings in Lego sets. These licensed sets are often the best-selling Lego products and drive significant revenue, though they also cost more to produce because of the licensing fees. The license agreements typically last for multiple years but can be renegotiated or terminated, which is why some popular themes like Lord of the Rings have disappeared from Lego's lineup after the licenses expired. The Star Wars partnership. Lego's partnership with Star Wars, which began in 1999, is one of the longest-running and most successful licensing deals in toy history. The Star Wars Lego sets have introduced many people to Lego who might not have otherwise been interested in building toys, particularly adult collectors. Some Star Wars Lego sets have become incredibly valuable on the secondary market, with certain rare sets selling for thousands of dollars above their original retail price. The Ultimate Collector Series. Lego's Ultimate Collector Series, primarily focused on Star Wars, but including sets from other themes, represents the pinnacle of Lego set design with massive piece counts, high price points, and extreme detail. These sets are explicitly marketed to adult collectors rather than children and often include display stands and informational plaques. The UCS Millennium Falcon, released in 2017, contains 7,541 pieces, making it the largest Lego set ever produced by piece count, and it retailed for $800. The Disney Partnership. Lego's partnership with Disney covers everything from classic Disney characters and movies to Pixar films, Marvel superheroes, and Star Wars, making it one of the most comprehensive licensing agreements in the toy industry. The Disney partnership has allowed Lego to create sets based on dozens of different properties, including Disney princesses, Frozen, Toy Story, Cars, and many others. The financial terms of the Disney license are confidential, but industry analysts estimate that Lego pays substantial royalties on every Disney-branded set sold. the Harry Potter return. LEGO produced Harry Potter sets from 2001 to 2007, then discontinued the theme after the final movie was released, but brought it back in 2018 due to persistent demand from fans. The return of Harry Potter sets featured updated designs and new pieces that weren't available during the original run, allowing LEGO to create more detailed and accurate representations of locations from the books and films. The Hogwarts Castle set, released in 2018, contains 6,000 pieces and is one of the largest and most complex LEGO sets ever produced. The superhero theme dominance. LEGO's superhero themes, particularly Marvel and DC Comics, have become major drivers of sales and account for a significant portion of their revenue from licensed properties. The superhero sets allow LEGO to release new products regularly tied to movie releases and comic book events, keeping the themes fresh and relevant. The minifigures from superhero sets are particularly collectible because LEGO frequently releases new variations of popular characters with updated costumes or accessories. The vehicle focus in licensed sets. Licensed LEGO sets tend to focus heavily on vehicles and vessels from the source material because these translate well to LEGO's building system and have broad appeal. Famous vehicles like the Batmobile, X-Wing fighters, and the Ghostbusters Ecto-1 have each been produced in multiple different LEGO versions over the years at different scales and price points. The vehicle focus sometimes frustrates fans who want more location-based sets depicting buildings or environments from their favourite franchises. The video game adaptations. LEGO has released dozens of video games featuring their minifigures in worlds based on licensed properties like Star Wars, Batman, Harry Potter, and many others, creating a parallel entertainment business to the physical toys. These video games feature humour, light puzzle solving, and accessible gameplay designed to appeal to both children and adults. The LEGO video games have sold over 200 million copies collectively, making them one of the most successful video game franchises of all time. The Ninjago phenomenon. LEGO Ninjago was created in 2011 as LEGO's own original intellectual property featuring ninja characters in a fantasy Asian-inspired world, and it became one of LEGO's most successful non-licensed themes. The success of Ninjago spawned a TV series that has run for over 150 episodes, multiple movies, and hundreds of sets across more than a decade. LEGO's strategy with Ninjago was to create a property they owned entirely so they wouldn't have to pay licensing fees, and they've since tried to replicate this success with other original themes. The Ninjago spinning tops. The original Ninjago sets featured spinning tops with minifigures that children could battle against each other, adding a game element to the building toy. These spinners were a unique play feature that distinguished Ninjago from other LEGO themes and were partially inspired by the popularity of Beyblades and similar spinning top toys. The spinner concept was eventually phased out in favour of more traditional building sets, but it was crucial to Ninjago's early success and helped the theme stand out in a crowded market. The Serpentine villains. Ninjago's storytelling includes many different villain factions that change each season, allowing LEGO to continuously release new characters and sets without exhausting the theme's potential. The snake-themed Serpentine villains from early Ninjago seasons featured unique mold designs for snake heads and tails, requiring significant investment in new tooling. This willingness to create new molds for original themes demonstrates LEGO's commitment to Ninjago as a long-term property rather than just a short-term product line. The city theme continuity. LEGO City has been a continuous theme since 1978 under various names, making it one of the longest-running LEGO themes and a cornerstone of their product lineup. The city theme focuses on realistic modern scenarios like police stations, fire stations, construction sites, and airports, providing children with sets that reflect the world around them. LEGO City sets are often used as educational tools in schools and therapy, because they help children understand community roles and develop storytelling skills. The City Emergency Services focus. Emergency services sub-themes including police, fire, and ambulance sets are consistently the best-selling components of LEGO City because children are naturally drawn to rescue scenarios and heroic roles. LEGO regularly updates these emergency services sets with new vehicle designs and play features to keep them fresh while maintaining the core appeal. The emergency services sets also tend to include useful pieces like windows, doors, and vehicle parts that builders can incorporate into their own custom creations. The City Space sub-theme evolution. LEGO City includes a space exploration sub-theme that has evolved over the years from basic rockets and astronauts to complex Mars rovers, space shuttles, and modular space stations. The city space sets are more realistic and grounded than LEGO's classic space theme from the 1980s, reflecting actual space exploration technology and missions. These sets often tie into real-world space events, like Mars missions or International Space Station resupply launches, to capitalize on public interest in space exploration. The Friends theme introduction. LEGO Friends was introduced in 2012, specifically targeting girls, featuring brighter colors, new mini-doll figures instead of traditional minifigures, and themes around friendship, creativity, and everyday life scenarios. The theme was controversial at launch, with some critics arguing it was unnecessarily gendered and reinforced stereotypes, while supporters appreciated that LEGO was trying to appeal to a demographic that hadn't traditionally been interested in LEGO. Despite the controversy, Friends has been commercially successful and remains an ongoing theme with regular new releases. The mini-doll design differences. Friends mini-dolls are taller and more realistic in proportion than traditional LEGO minifigures, with more detailed sculpting including defined legs, torsos and heads. The mini-dolls have more articulation than minifigures with wrists that rotate and more flexible legs, though they're less compatible with standard LEGO building than minifigures. LEGO has since used mini-dolls in several other themes, including Disney Princess and Frozen, establishing them as an alternative figure style for themes aimed at older girls. The Friends commercial performance. LEGO Friends became one of LEGO's most profitable themes within its first year, significantly increasing LEGO's sales to girls and helping the company reach a more balanced customer base. The theme's success validated LEGO's research, suggesting that many girls were interested in building toys but wanted different play scenarios and aesthetics than the traditionally boy-focused themes offered. Friends sets often focus on locations like cafes, veterinary clinics, shopping malls, and houses rather than vehicles, which was a deliberate design choice based on research about what appeals to the target demographic. The classic theme concept. LEGO classic sets are specifically designed to be open-ended building experiences with no specific final model, instead providing a variety of bricks and pieces in different colors with suggestion books showing multiple possible builds. The classic theme is LEGO's attempt to recapture the spirit of their original creative building sets from decades ago while incorporating modern piece designs and play features. These sets are particularly popular with parents who remember creative building from their own childhoods and want to provide similar experiences for their children. The Brick Box series. LEGO Classic includes several different sizes of brick box sets that contain anywhere from a few hundred to over 1,000 pieces in a variety of colors and shapes. These brick boxes are often the first LEGO set parents buy for young children because they provide a good foundation for creative building without the constraint of following instructions. The boxes themselves are designed to be reusable storage containers with convenient handles and secure lids. The parts to price ratio. LEGO classic sets typically offer better pieces per dollar ratios than themed sets because they don't include expensive printed pieces licensed characters, or specialized parts that require custom molds. The focus on basic bricks and common elements keeps production costs lower, allowing LEGO to sell classic sets at more accessible price points. This makes classic sets attractive to builders who want to expand their collection efficiently, or parents who want to provide lots of building material without spending on expensive licensed sets. The Creator 3-in-1 concept. LEGO Creator sets are designed so that each set can be built into 3 different models using the same pieces, providing more play value and encouraging rebuilding and creativity. The 3-in-1 concept allows LEGO to showcase different building techniques within a single set and demonstrate how the same pieces can create vastly different models. Builder instructions for all 3 models are included in the box, though building one model typically requires disassembling any previous model since the pieces are reused. The Creator Expert series. Creator Expert is a subset of the Creator theme aimed at adult builders with highly detailed models of buildings, vehicles, and structures using advanced building techniques. These sets include modular buildings designed to connect together to form a city street, vehicles like the Volkswagen Beetle and Ford Mustang, and architectural displays. Creator Expert sets command premium prices, but offer corresponding detail and sophistication that appeals to serious hobbyists. The Modular Building Series. The Modular Building Series within Creator Expert is a collection of detailed building facades designed to be displayed together to create a cohesive city-street scene. Each modular building is designed to be connected to others in the series, with a standardized footprint and compatible street-level sidewalks. The series includes a pet shop, detective's office, Parisian restaurant, diner, and numerous other buildings released over more than 15 years, allowing dedicated collectors to build extensive cityscapes. The modular building interior details. What makes the modular building special is the incredibly detailed interiors that often span multiple floors, with fully furnished rooms and numerous minifigures. The buildings include hidden details and Easter eggs that reward close inspection, like tiny newspapers with readable prints, food items, and miniature decorations. Some builders have modified the standardized design to create their own custom modular buildings that fit seamlessly into the official series, creating even larger cityscapes. The seasonal sets. LEGO releases small seasonal sets throughout the year, tied to holidays like Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day, Easter, and others, often featuring special pieces or colours exclusive to that release. These seasonal sets are typically sold for a limited time and become collectible because they are not restocked once sold out. The sets range from small, polybag offerings to larger display models, with Christmas-themed sets being particularly elaborate and popular. The Holiday Workshop. The LEGO Winter Village series is a subset of seasonal sets featuring Christmas-themed buildings and scenes that can be displayed together to create a festive village. The series began in 2009 with the Winter Toy Shop and has continued with new releases most years since then, including buildings like a post office, cottage, and fire station. These sets use a lot of white and tan pieces to create snow-covered roofs and wintry scenes, and they often include unique printed tiles with holiday designs. The promotional sets. LEGO produces numerous promotional sets that are given away with purchases, sold exclusively at LEGO stores, or offered as gifts with subscriptions to LEGO magazines. These promotional sets are often small builds of 20 to 100 pieces, but can include exclusive minifigures or pieces not available in regular sets. Collectors often seek out promotional sets specifically because of their limited availability, and some promotional sets become quite valuable on the secondary market. The polybag format. Polybags are small LEGO sets packaged in plastic bags rather than boxes, typically containing simple builds with fewer than 100 pieces. These are often sold at checkout counters in stores as impulse purchases or given away as promotional items at LEGO stores and events. Despite their small size, polybag sets sometimes include exclusive pieces or minifigures that make them appealing to collectors and can command surprisingly high prices on the secondary market. The blind bag minifigures. Starting in 2010, LEGO began releasing collectible minifigures in sealed blind bags where you can't see which figure you're getting until you open the package. Each series typically includes 16 different minifigure designs with various themes, accessories, and unique printed parts. The blind bag format has been hugely successful, spawning over 20 main series plus numerous licensed series based on properties like The Simpsons, Disney, Harry Potter, and Marvel. The blind bag feeling technique. Because the blind bags are sealed, LEGO fans have developed techniques for feeling through the packaging to identify which minifigure is inside based on the distinctive shapes of accessories and headpieces. LEGO has gradually made this more difficult by changing packaging and including flat informational tiles that confuse the feeling process. Some stores prohibit excessive feeling of packages, while others allow it, and the ethics of feeling versus buying blind is debated in the collecting community. The series, themes, and variety. Each blind bag minifigure series typically includes a diverse mix of characters ranging from historical figures to fantasy creatures to everyday people with unusual accessories. The variety and creativity of blind bag minifigures often exceeds what appears in regular sets because designers can create unique characters that might not fit into any particular theme. Some blind bag figures have become iconic and valuable, particularly early series figures that are now out of production. The military vehicle absence. LEGO has a long-standing unofficial policy of not producing modern military vehicles, weapons, or scenarios, though they do produce historical military sets like pirate ships and castle knights. This policy exists because LEGO doesn't want their toys to glorify modern warfare or allow children to play out violent military scenarios with realistic weapons. The policy is somewhat controversial because it leads to awkward situations like having police officers with guns but not soldiers, and some fans feel historical military vehicles would be interesting building projects. The weapon design philosophy. When LEGO does include weapons in sets, they're typically stylized and fantastical rather than realistic replicas of actual weapons. Though this has become less consistent in licensed sets like Star Wars and Indiana Jones. The company faces ongoing tension between wanting to appeal to children's interest in action and combat play while not wanting to produce toys that too closely resemble real weapons. Accessories like lightsabers, magic wands, and obviously fictional weapons are common, while realistic modern firearms are avoided. The education division. LEGO has a separate division called LEGO Education that produces specialized sets and curriculum materials designed specifically for classroom use and educational institutions. These sets often include unique pieces and building challenges not found in regular LEGO products, along with detailed lesson plans aligned to educational standards. LEGO education products are sold primarily through educational suppliers rather than toy retailers and are priced for institutional rather than consumer purchase. The therapy applications. LEGO bricks are widely used in therapy settings, including occupational therapy, speech therapy, and behavioral therapy, because they provide structured yet creative activities that develop fine motor skills and social interaction. LEGO-based therapy has been formalized in some approaches that use building challenges to help children with autism develop communication and cooperation skills. The tactile nature of LEGO building and the clear success markers when pieces connect properly make it particularly useful for therapy applications. The engineering education programs. Many universities and educational institutions use LEGO, particularly Mindstorms and Technic, to teach engineering principles because it provides hands-on experience with mechanical systems, programming, and design iteration. First Lego League is an international robotics competition for children aged 4 to 16, where teams design, build, and program robots using Lego Mindstorms to complete challenges. These educational applications have positioned Lego as more than a toy company, establishing them as a partner in STEM education worldwide. The Serious Play methodology. Lego Serious Play is a facilitation methodology developed by Lego where business meetings and workshops use Lego bricks as a thinking and communication tool for problem solving and strategy development. Participants build metaphorical models with Lego bricks to represent complex ideas, share stories about their models, and work collaboratively to address challenges. This methodology has been adopted by numerous corporations, non-profits, and educational institutions as an innovative approach to team building and strategic planning. The adult fan community. Adult fans of Lego, often abbreviated as AFOLs, make up a significant and growing portion of Lego's customer base and spend considerably more on Lego products than children do. The AFOL community includes people from all walks of life who treat Lego as a serious hobby, creating elaborate custom builds, attending conventions, and participating in online communities. Lego has increasingly acknowledged and catered to adult fans, with sophisticated sets marketed specifically to adults and events targeted at the AFOL community. The Lego conventions. Major Lego conventions and exhibitions happen worldwide, where fans display their custom creations, buy and sell Lego products, and meet other enthusiasts, with some events attracting tens of thousands of attendees. BrickCon, Brick Fair, and numerous other regional events provide opportunities for builders to showcase massive collaborative builds and compete in building competitions. These conventions often include areas where children can build, vendor halls with Lego sellers, and presentations by professional Lego builders and company representatives. The Certified Professional Program. Lego has a small number of Lego certified professionals who are independent business owners approved to create commissioned Lego models for companies, events, and installations. Becoming a certified professional requires an application process demonstrating exceptional building skills, business acumen, and the ability to represent the Lego brand professionally. These professionals create everything from product replicas for trade shows to massive sculptures for public displays, working on projects that would be impossible for Lego's internal team to handle. The Master Builder title. Lego employs a small number of master builders who are full-time employees responsible for designing official Lego sets, creating display models, and representing the company at events. The Master Builder title is extremely prestigious within the Lego community and requires exceptional building skills, creativity, and knowledge of Lego's history and products. Many master builders started as fans before being recruited by Lego, and they often have specialized expertise in particular building techniques or themes. The custom building techniques. Advanced Lego builders have developed hundreds of building techniques not shown in official instructions, including SNOT, studs not on top, building, illegal connections, and advanced structural support methods. These techniques allow builders to create shapes, angles, and details that would be impossible using only the official building methods shown in Lego instructions. While Lego doesn't use some of these techniques in official sets because they stress the bricks, they're widely shared in the fan community and push the boundaries of what's possible with Lego. The illegal building techniques. So-called illegal building techniques are connections that Lego doesn't use in official sets because they stress the plastic in ways that could cause warping or damage over time, even though they technically work. Common illegal techniques include forcing bricks together at angles they're not designed for, using multiple connections that create tension in the assembly, or using pieces in ways they weren't intended. Lego's designers occasionally bend these rules in special circumstances, but they generally avoid illegal techniques to ensure their sets can be assembled and disassembled repeatedly without damage. The Part Substitution Challenge. Lego builders often face situations where they want to use a specific piece but don't have it in the right color or enough quantity, leading to creative substitutions and redesigns. Part availability varies significantly depending on how long someone has been collecting, whether they buy individual pieces online, and which sets they've purchased. The constraint of working with available pieces often leads to more creative solutions than if builders had unlimited access to any piece they wanted. The L-Draw software. L-Draw is a free open-source software system for creating virtual Lego models on computers with a massive library of virtually every Lego piece ever made available in digital form. Builders use L-Draw and programs built on it like LeoCAD and Bricklink Studio to design models, create building instructions, and visualize builds before purchasing pieces. The software is so comprehensive and accurate that some professional Lego designers use it for preliminary design work before building physical prototypes. The rendering and visualization. Advanced users can create photorealistic renderings of L-Draw models using rendering programs, producing images that look almost indistinguishable from photographs of actual Lego models. These rendered images are used for creating building instructions, promotional materials for custom designs, and artwork celebrating Lego building. The ability to virtually build and render Lego models has democratized Lego design, allowing anyone with a computer to create and share designs without needing massive physical Lego collections. The parts database websites. Websites like Bricklink, Brickowl, and Rebrickable maintain comprehensive databases of every Lego set, piece, color, and minifigure ever produced, serving as essential resources for the Lego community. These databases allow users to search for specific pieces, compare prices across sellers, track their collections, and find information about rare or obscure Lego elements. The depth and accuracy of these community-maintained databases often exceeds what Lego officially provides, demonstrating the dedication of the fan community. The alternate build community. Many Lego fans specialize in creating alternate builds for official sets, designing completely different models that can be built using only the pieces included in a specific set. These alternate builds are shared online with instructions, demonstrating creativity and problem-solving within constraints. Some sets have dozens or even hundreds of documented alternate builds created by fans, vastly extending the play value and creative possibilities beyond what Lego officially suggests. The microscale building. Microscale is a building technique where models are created at a much smaller scale than minifigure scale, allowing builders to create much larger scenes or structures with fewer pieces. In microscale builds, individual bricks might represent entire rooms or buildings, and vehicles are often just a few studs long. This building style is popular for creating cityscapes, space fleets, or historical battle scenes, where building at minifigure scale would require impractical numbers of bricks. The architecture-inspired building. Many adult Lego builders create models inspired by real architecture or develop their own architectural designs using Lego as a medium. These architectural builds often focus on realistic details like functional doors and windows, interesting textures, and accurate proportions. The architectural approach treats Lego as a legitimate design medium rather than just a toy, with some builders creating models as study tools for actual architectural projects. The landscape and terrain building. Creating realistic landscapes and terrain with Lego is challenging because the rectangular nature of bricks doesn't naturally lend itself to organic shapes like hills, trees, and water. Skilled builders use techniques like layering plates at different heights, using bricks of varied colours to create texture, and clever placement of irregular pieces to create natural-looking scenes. Water is particularly challenging and is often represented with blue plates at different transparency levels or with blue snot-built surfaces. The forced perspective technique. Some builders create displays that use forced perspective to make scenes appear much larger than they actually are, placing larger scale elements in the foreground and progressively smaller elements toward the back. This technique requires careful planning and often combines elements from different LEGO themes that normally wouldn't be used together. Forced perspective builds are especially effective in photographs where the three-dimensional illusion is most convincing. The vignette format. Vignettes are small self-contained scenes built on a standardized base size, often 8x8 studs or 16x16 studs, which can be arranged together to create larger displays. The vignette format is popular because it allows builders to create complete scenes with limited pieces and space while maintaining compatibility with other builders' work. LEGO communities sometimes organize collaborative vignette projects, where many builders each create a scene following shared guidelines. The mecha building subculture. Mecha, or giant robots, are a popular subject for custom LEGO builds, particularly in the AFOL community, with builders developing sophisticated techniques for articulation, proportions, and mechanical details. Mecha builds often incorporate Technic pieces for joints and structure, while using regular bricks for armor plating and details. The style has been influenced by Japanese anime and manga, and there's an active online community sharing maker builds and techniques. The castle building resurgence. Although LEGO's official castle theme was discontinued, many adult fans continue building castles, keeps, and medieval structures as personal projects and community displays. Castle builders often focus on historical accuracy or create fantasy interpretations with dragons, wizards, and elaborate fortifications. Large castle builds can incorporate thousands of pieces and take months to complete, with attention to period-appropriate details and defensive features. The spaceship building tradition. The tradition of building spaceships, or swooshable spacecraft that look good being flown around while making sound effects, remains popular across LEGO fans of all ages. Spaceship builders develop signature styles and techniques, with some focusing on sleek, smooth surfaces, while others prefer detailed mechanical builds with exposed engines and greebling. The annual Spaceship event challenges builders to create original spacecraft designs within specific guidelines. The train community.